Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the MLB, and that's Major League Baseball, baby. So y'all check this out. Well, one of the biggest storylines in baseball this year has to be your boy Shohei Ohtani, for the LA Angels. It's the two-way player, baby. We don't see him often. We talking Babe Ruth, before TVs were out. Shohei Ohtani, a pitcher and a hitter on a pretty high level. Well, yesterday was a bad day. Bittersweet day for Shohei Ohtani. First, he gets the news that he's going to need Tommy John surgery on his elbow, right? And that's, Tommy John surgery. It's better than it was back in Tommy John days, right? But, he's going to probably be out. We're talking pitching, right? So he's going to probably be out about 18 months as far as pitching is concerned. He was having problems with it. They were trying to do other kind of treatments on it to see if they can go around the surgery. If they can get around it, and that's pretty good to try. And they did everything. So they let him pitch a game again. He had the velocity. Let him pitch about 50 pitches. He looked pretty good, right? Still was able to get that fastball up to 100 miles an hour, which is awesome. But, they did another MRI, and they saw that he does need a Tommy John surgery. So that's some bad news at the beginning of the day. Then the game comes. You know what happens? Shohei Ohtani gets 4 hits. 4 hits on the day, right? Driving his batting average up over 280. Pretty close to 290 right now. He was batting about 275 when the game starts. So, 4 hits puts him up about 280 something, right? And that's pretty darn good. With this injury to his elbow, it is definitely bitter. But I think in the long run, it's going to probably enhance his notoriety. I think people are going to really fathom and realize what he's really doing, right? Because some things, when it just constantly happens in front of your face, you don't really savor it. I see that in NBA with Russell Westbrook. The guy averages a triple-double. And I did a video about this about 3 months ago when I was telling you about both of these guys. Russell Westbrook, averages a triple-double. Some people don't get some in their whole career, a triple-double. Or they get 2 or 3. And the guy averages a triple-double with 30 points the first year. Then comes back the second year and averages a triple-double with 26 points with a whole different team. Those are things that are just unprecedented. You don't see, right? Ever since black and white TVs and I always like to call it Bigfoot footage. You don't see those things. But because, he's doing it every day, people are acting like, oh, ho-hum. He's not even in the MVP conversation. They need to get another something else. If you're going to give somebody MVP just because the team was winning and the other guy didn't do something, have another award for something that's extraordinary. Like the most extraordinary thing of the season award, right? Or something, right? Because everybody's team's not winning, but people are doing extraordinary things. But that's another rant. Right now, we're talking Shohei Ohtani. Now, guys, you're talking about a guy that's pitching the fastball at 100 miles an hour, right? You're talking about people, if you're a casual fan, a lot of people ain't watching baseball like that. They come and ask, hey, he's a pitcher. How fast he throws the ball? What do you got to throw? And you'd be saying, well, you better be able to throw 90 if you want to be in the Major League Baseball. Well, who throws the fast pitcher? Who's the fastest pitcher? And, this year, Shohei Ohtani with 101 miles an hour was the fastest pitcher of the year. So that's even ridiculous. To be able to have that kind of velocity on your ball, you're a bona fide pitcher. Bona fide. He has a split finger and a few other pitches. Really awesome pitcher. But because he wasn't able to pitch let's say about the last 6 weeks, we were able to see what type of player this is. Even though he's in the American League and is a designated hitter, the guy is hitting very well. We're talking about home runs. He's had 2 yesterday, 2 home runs, and he's up to about 18 home runs. He hits the ball to the opposite field like a god. There's no problem about it. And he was supposed to have problems with left-handers, so they keep him out of the lineup when left-handed pitchers come because he bats left-handed. And he hit his first home run against a left-hander about 2 nights ago, and he, had a hit or 2 against a lefty last night. So the thing about it is this guy is something remarkable. Now he gets on base, right? And you would think, well, he's a pitcher. He doesn't do anything. Well, he steals bases as well, right? He's pretty speedy. And I think that's what's going to happen in the next 18 months. The next 18 months, we're going to see Shohei Ohtani, the athlete, and we're going to see that he's a bona fide baseball player without pitching. Bona fide. I was saying at the beginning of the year, if this guy can bat about 250, 260, he's already done a good job. Won about 8, 9 games as a pitcher, but okay, he's not going to be pitching for a while. This guy bats about 270. That's incredible, guys. And we're seeing something incredible. So this is just an ode to Shohei Ohtani because this is something that we're seeing that's remarkable. Okay, you got bad news on these Tommy John surgery, but we're going to be able to see and watch how good of a baseball player this guy is. You're talking about a guy who is just not going two ways, pitching and hitting. We're talking about he was hitting in the 8th spot when they first put him in there at the beginning of the season. Then all of a sudden he was at bat number 5. Well, he's batted cleanup before. Cleanup is like, that's the dude in the lineup that cleans up the bases. He's batted 3rd before, 2nd before because of his speed. He's batting in important positions in the batting lineup. And then he pitches on a high level. This is something that we haven't seen, so hone in on it. Of course, we won't see him pitch for a while, but when he comes back, I'm pretty sure they're going to make sure he's ready. They don't have to rush it because Shohei Ohtani, the hitter, is awesome as well. So let's get well soon, homeboy, and continue to hit because what we're seeing is extraordinary. I don't think there's too many better scenarios in baseball right now, except for maybe what's going on in Boston with Mookie Betts and J.D. Martinez. That's ridiculous too. Don't get it twisted. And plus, they're playing for a winning team. But what you're seeing with Shohei Ohtani, do not act like you've seen that before. Don't Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.